name is Michaela. I am currently 39 weeks pregnant right now. It has been an extremely exhausting time frame the last week or so. I'm definitely ready to give birth, but I figured that I would go ahead and give my 39 week update, even though I'm like 39 plus 3 now, and then I'll probably just give my 40 week update a few days later, if I make it that far, of course, to give like a full week in between. I already had my 39 week checkup though, which actually happened the same day that I turned 39 weeks, so I didn't want to do it that day, just so that I could wait till after my appointment to give the updates that happened at my appointment. Now, the first thing that has changed since my 38 week update, if you haven't watched that yet, I'll go ahead and link it up in the corner for you guys to watch. And then at the end of the video, there will also be a playlist of all of my pregnancy updates that you guys could go ahead and check out as well. But for the first time ever in my whole entire life, I had a high blood pressure reading, and that's never happened to me before. But they took it the first time when I first got there, and I had just gotten done. There's a park across the street, so I was playing with the kids beforehand, and then I ran across the street to do my appointment. I literally ran because I didn't realize the time. And so I was a little, wound up once I got there. My blood pressure was 140/67, which the top number was definitely way higher than my blood pressure I'd ever been before. I tend to run in between, I would say 107 to 123-ish, which is, I would say a perfect blood pressure, especially for when you're pregnant. And it was way high. So she took it and she mentioned that it was a lot higher. It was the nurse that had taken it, or the assistant midwife lady that was there. And then so they waited until after my appointment was done to retake my blood pressure. And at that point it had gone down. It was still a little high though. It was 130/67, but it wasn't something that was super worrisome to her, because it was only 7 or 10 or so over than what I normally read, the top number. And so that was the first thing that has changed. I don't know if I'll end up having another high reading or not. I really hope not. But as long as this isn't a sign that I'm starting to get high blood pressure at the end of my pregnancy, then we should be all good, because I'm still planning on giving birth at the birth center. And having extremely high blood pressure, I don't know if that would make me risk out of a non-hospital birth, because I've never had that happen to me before. Now the second thing, I have had this increasingly over the last few weeks, and now it is just insane. At 39 weeks, my swelling is constant all day, and it is very bad swelling. My ankles have a lot of edema in them, where when you push on them, it doesn't, or pitted edema, where it doesn't bounce back. My skin just stays there, I guess, and it's gotten worse, where I've been having swelling in my calves, and overall my body just feels a little swollen. My fingers, geez, this is the largest that my fingers have ever been. They're very swollen, so I'm not even able to wear my rings on my pinky fingers right now, because they're extremely swollen. Normally I wear a size 5 in rings pre-pregnancy. My fingers are pretty small, I guess, for my height, because I'm 5'9", and right now I couldn't even fit a 7 on my pinkies, so they've definitely swelled up a lot, and it's been very uncomfortable. They feel very stiff because of it, and my feet have been hurting a lot because of it. So I currently don't have any sandals, which would probably help out a lot. I'll need to definitely get some, especially postpartum. It's just a pain in the butt to put on socks and shoes. It just unnecessary. So I would definitely prefer to wear sandals, and I think that that might help the swelling from gathering around where my sock is on my ankle. Now, I did have that like water breaking scare about 2 weeks ago or so, and I haven't had any more fluid since I had last updated you guys about that. So I keep feeling though, like in my head, because my water has broken first for all 3 of my past births before my labor has started. It's always been like spontaneous. I've been like sitting on the couch at nighttime or sleeping when it has happened. So now whenever I lay down in bed, I like feel like every time that I turn that my water is just gonna break. Like it's been like an overwhelming, consuming like thing where I've just been feeling like my water is going to break at any moment. And who knows, maybe my water won't break first this time, which would definitely be interesting, because I'm not sure at this point with how much prodromal labor that I've had, if I would really know when I'm in labor until it like gets more intense, I guess, because that's definitely another symptom that I've had, where my prodromal labor has been lasting for a few hours, where I've been having consistent contractions for like 2 or 3 hours, and they're painful. They're like 10 minutes or so apart, and then they just stop, and then I don't have any for the rest of the day, and then I'll have a few like when I lay down maybe, but it has been a little confusing because I've never gone into labor just by my contractions starting. So I am trying to figure out like when to trust myself when I actually am in labor, because I don't know, after that last like telling everyone that I think that I'm in labor and then I'm really not, like it's kind of embarrassing. And so I think that I might hold out for a while until like things feel a lot more intense to tell anyone that I actually am in labor, just to like make sure. Unless like it's, I don't know, if I have where I think that my water breaks and then I keep gushing though, and last time when I thought that my water wasn't leaking in between at all, so I think that I would probably tell people at that point, even if my contractions hadn't started. Otherwise, yeah, it's been a little confusing with all my prodromal labor that I have been having. Let's see. Now, with it getting a little bit closer to like when I'll be having the baby, I'm assuming I'm gonna be going into labor any day now, considering that I'm like a few days away from 40 weeks. But I have been very exhausted to the point that I haven't even wanted or been able to clean my house a lot, which is unusual because I kind of put like mind over matter, you know, like at least I could keep my house clean so that it doesn't pile up, because I know once it starts piling up then it'll be even more exhausting to take care of it. And I haven't been doing much, even though I know in the back of my head that it just creates more work for myself. Now my husband has been helping out a lot more. Normally I'm like the main person to be cleaning up in the house, just because he works a lot more, but he's been home a little bit more often now. And so he's been, actually the last few days, he's been the one to like load the dishwasher and whatnot. But he's also not the type of person that's gonna like scrub everything down like as good as I do it, which there isn't an issue with that. As long as the dishes are getting done, then I'm happy with that. But in the back of my head, like I really just want it to be super, super clean. So I'll get into these modes where like I'll let it get kind of bad for a few days, and then I'll like get up and like scrub down the house for like 4 hours straight. And that's just kind of how it's been like the last week and a half or so, just because I've been so exhausted. I'm about to actually do that same thing right now. I have like a bunch of stuff that I need to get done inside the house, and I don't want it to be in the way right after I have the baby, because it makes a lot more work. Not only not that I would be the one doing anything, I would have help with doing that kind of stuff, but it just puts more stress on me in the back of my head that things aren't being done the way that I would prefer it, or as much as I would like to do it, you know. So it's a lot less stressful if I actually just get it done myself. And so I've been really trying to motivate myself. So that does bring me back to the fact that I have been resting a lot more than I ever have. Basically throughout this pregnancy, even when I was on bed rest, I did not rest this much during my pregnancy. I've been sitting down a lot during the day, on my birthing ball, just sitting down in a chair, just trying to not do as much. I've been really trying to relax. I've been sleeping in almost every single day this last week. My husband has been able to work a little bit later in the day, so he's been getting up with the kids, which they normally get up at about 6:30, and I've been sleeping in until at least 8, which has been amazing because I still have been having a lot of trouble sleeping, and it's been hard to get to sleep until at least like 3:30 in the morning. So I've been really thankful for that, so that I'm not like even more exhausted once it comes to going into labor. My labors tend to last very long, at least 18 hours. So I definitely need as much energy as possible for when that happens. So he's been making sure that I've been able to get as much rest as I possibly can before I actually have the baby. And I think we've also correlated that whenever my water's broken, I have been like either sitting down or sleeping. So I think he's trying to get me to sit down and sleep more, just to kind of encourage my body to relax, and maybe I'll end up going into labor. So that has been a nice thing for him to think. We don't actually know if that's going to happen because there are plenty of women who go into labor when they're doing a lot of things, or when they're at work or whatnot, but that's just how it has been personally for me. So we've been kind of testing that out. Now, I did mention in my last video that I've thought of like possibly using some like evening primrose oil, or like pumping more and stuff like that, and I just haven't done anything like that. I have evening, actually it's been sitting on my nightstand right here for like a few weeks, and I haven't even touched it. There's only actually a few left in here because it was a bottle that was left over from a previous pregnancy, actually like 2 pregnancies ago, and then my sister, I let her have it, and then she gave it back to me when she was done with it, and I haven't touched it yet though. I haven't pumped anymore. Oh, well, I did pump once a little bit to relieve some pressure because I've been having a lot of colostrum that has been like leaking, and it's been getting painful. So I have released a little bit of pressure that way, but I'm not like pumping consistently like for like 15 to 20 minutes or something like that. It's just like for a moment, because honestly there's not much, but it's just been uncomfortable with the little bit amount that there has been. So I have been doing that every once in a while, but it's not enough to like stimulate my uterus or anything like that. The one last thing that I did want to mention, I think I might have mentioned this in it was either my 37 or my 38 week update, that I had gotten hemorrhoids, and that was because I was having like an upset stomach, and it went away. My hemorrhoids went away completely, and now within like the last 2 days they are back, and I haven't had any changes in my bowel habits at all. So I think that it's honestly my baby getting into like a lower position, because before he was very posterior, like above my cervix, and well, actually he was underneath my cervix. He was like blocking my cervix, and my cervix was posterior to the baby, and so I think that maybe he's kind of locked into my pelvis a little bit more, putting more pressure down there, because I haven't had a change in my bowel habits at all. I still have pretty like normal stool. I've never been the type to get constipated at all when I'm pregnant. So I've had good bowel habits, but now all of a sudden I have these hemorrhoids that are just very vicious. So I've been using witch hazel pads and an Earth Angel Mama bottom balm that has like a lot of soothing herbs inside of it, and that has helped a little bit. I just use that like once a day and it seems to be enough, but it's just been annoying. So I thought I would mention that though, just because I think that that could be a symptom contributing to my baby just getting lower, and you could definitely tell that he is getting lower just by the way that my stomach looks. I think that's about it for my 39-week update though. Okay, so this is what my stomach looks like right now. Now, like, it's basically covering my vagina. Like, my stomach is very low right now. It's overhanging. But anyways, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching my pregnancy update. If you guys are interested in my other pregnancy updates, you could go ahead and watch the last one and the rest of them inside of a playlist I have that'll be linked at the end of this video. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.